That's this RGL.GG Invite Highlander match. It is Season 21, Week 4. We are here on lovely Koth Cascade watching Worried Sick take on IDM. I am Alto, joined by Zag to my side. Dolphin behind the camera, as always. Zag, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. Just got back from a wedding over the weekend, ready to get back to being a neat gamer who sits at his computer for most
Hell
of the day.
yeah, brother.
But yeah, happy to be out here casting some TF2. Always a good time with my good friend Alto. And yeah, Cascade here tonight. We got two teams who might be a little bit mismatched on paper and like just by how we're perceiving them, but we figured it would be one of the potentially closer matches tonight as nothing else looked too enticing. So here's hoping that this one gets, at least a little bit of excitement going for us.
Yeah, this match looked a lot better on paper coming into last week. When we thought Worried Sick may have ended up being the second seed, IDM was looking like a solid fourth, and then Worried Sick ends up upset. I don't know if you can say they upset Death or Exile, but they take the win, and IDM gets upset by BBC on Swiftwater, so definitely a black mark on their season so far. So what we thought might have been like a 2v4 is now kind of turning into a 1v4.5 seed, but no other matches tonight were particularly close or meaningful, so we still end up watching these two teams go at it. IDM as well, we saw them back in week 1 on PL Upward. Some roster changes since then. Taiga's come in on Spy. Townsy switched over to Scout. Zag, you're never going to guess he started the season on Pyro. And Leaf coming in on Pyro. He was good. He was rocking the Pyro. I'm not going to lie. But I think just, with all the impact that Mr. Townsend can have, having him on a more impactful class such as Scout that you can really
a class that takes beam.
Take a lot of beam. Yeah,
he's used to that one. Yeah, but we can go and run down the rosters real quick. On the side of IDM is going to be that Townsy Scout, Davey C on Soldier, Leaf on Pyro, Squid on Demo, Swift on Heavy, Ace on NG, Alex on Medic, Arbiter Sniper, and Taiga coming in on Spy.
Yep, and then over on the side of Worried Sick, it will be DT on Scout, Dur on Soldier, Jacob on Pyro, Kira Demoman, Dotwet on Heavy, Flu Walrus on Engineer, Dank on Medic, Mountain on Sniper, and J-Easy on Spy.
And I want to start off discussion here with the fact that my prediction for this match, the smart money is on the 4-0 for Worried Sick. That's just how I feel after seeing how well they played on Swiftwater last week, knowing this is a Jacob team, they're able to play the game theoretically at the highest level we have for Highlander, so I think that they're a pretty safe bet here. From IDM, seeing the fact that they dropped those match points to BBC last week, dropping 6 match points down, that's a thing that can come back and haunt you at the end of the season when you're fighting for that 4th seed. If you lose those match points to a direct competitor, it's basically like twice as bad, right? Because you're giving them the points while you're losing the points. So for IDM, if they want to make sure that they get into playoffs as that 4th seed, assuming, we have our top 2 and Dream Bull's Kitchen continues to be our perceived 3rd, getting a match point here, getting even 1 round here is a huge step if they could get it across the finish line.
Exactly, yeah, because we thought they were getting almost blocked for the 4th seed after week 1, but the BBC upset has caused some wrinkles. That said, we are live. It will be Worried Sick on red, IDM on blue, both demos rolling out. See how this mid plays out.
Really aggressive jumps from both soldiers onto the bats. Arbiter going to explode immediately, Dur focusing down that sniper. Meanwhile, Spy coming onto the point. Big backstep onto Kira. DT going down as well, because there's a lot of kills in favor of IDM, actually. Not too much combo presence left for Worried Sick, as they're going to get pushed back. Dalret flanked by Swift, going to get taken down. And Tiger cleaning up Jacob means that we actually have IDM kind of steamrolling the first mid.
Yeah, Tiger got 2 really big stabs there. Swift was a raid boss on that mid. Alex did a really good job just arrow tanking Swift up, was able to win the 1v1 against DT early on, just took a lot of space, and even losing Arbiter, who we didn't get to do a whole lot of player previews, who I was looking to be the main
Alex
threat.
To the shot from Mountain over the aluminum sheeting, and that's a big one early on. We're going to see immediately Worried Sick going to flood the point, try to get the kills. They do get Squid as well, so this should be an easy capture of their first of the round, but some sacks coming in. They're going to get kills onto Davey, Townsy going down as well. Arbiter getting a headshot to Dahl. It's going to clear a ton of space on the point. The teams are fighting tooth and nail for this. It doesn't look like Worried Sick want to pop, and they will not have to. They're going to get their first cap.
No, they did a good job of at least stalling for some time right there. You know, what could have been a 15-second cap turns into a 45-second one. But not being able to force Dank's Uber there is huge. I mean, Mountain, absolutely huge shot to take out Alex is just going to really flip that mid on its head. And now they're the ones sitting on full Uber ad. Ace already going to get picked off. And they're going to have to do something to get this Uber out.
Yeah, the Tiger's going to get caught crossing the point with Mountain getting the headshot to Arbiter. There's basically no pick classes alive for IDM, so this medic in fairly safe positioning right now. Dank is going to be able to heal all the players on the point. No one really able to get close. Swift going to try his luck, but taken down by that Scattergun, so that was like kind of like a quarter sack where you had some players walk forward, but with no pick classes and no bombers, you really weren't going to get much out of that. So we'll see what they want to do now. They have 80%, so likely just going to get this Uber and take an exchange.
Yep. I mean, Leaf getting picked off early doesn't help. Davey flying in through tunnel, not going to find anyone though, and they're starting to walk up. And Alex sniped at 99! Mountain has been relentless onto this medic thus far. It's just going to be a bloodbath
Tiger
right now.
The force there. Might get the force if the one rocket can land, but DBC can't get over that sheeting. Not going to be able to get the rocket. Will get Mountain and Jacob though, so despite not getting the force, they do have 3 kills. With spawn advantage, we might see IDM able to get this force finally, but it looks like right now it's just going to be Worried 6 sitting pretty back on this dispenser. Now Squid with the spawn teleporter going to be coming in, trying to get the damage down. There is a point presence here for IDM, but this Uber about to get forced out.
Yep, there it goes.
Oh my God,
Alex, no chance. Doesn't even make it back beyond the house at all. Red has Uber for 108 seconds before using it. You hate to see it. There's not enough pressure able to get in, and really all this steam we saw, you know, from IDM after this mid has just gone up in smoke ever since that one shot from Mountain dropped Alex on the point. So, you know, great that we saw them come out so strong, but really, really struggling to, you know, get back into it and fight when they're disadvantaged.
Yeah, my expectations have gone from subverted to very verted. This is exactly what we were expecting when we came into this match. Just Worried Sick able to completely dominate with better positioning, better target focus, better DM. And like you said, when the defensive medic's able to hold Uber for nearly 2 minutes, it's just a sign that the other team doesn't know how to actually get past. And granted, Cascade is like one of the more difficult Koth maps we have for like players to like try to understand how to actually get space from a disadvantaged spot. But it's just not helping IDM's case right now that they're here. I feel like they're just going to get steamrolled for the rest of this, at least the rest of this round, as they really have not been able to find a way in.
And we are coming into a pause here. I'm praying for IDM's sake, this is a tack pause after the end of the first round. I think that's pretty likely unless we get word from Dolphin that there's player issues here. Because the timing could potentially line up. Tactical, Dolphin? Yeah, we're confirmed that it's a tack pause, which I love to see. I've been on record. I don't think teams take enough tack pauses. You know, they say, oh, let's wait until we're down 0-2, when you could be only down 0-1 before you really talk and see what's going on. I mean, we didn't get to talk a lot about players beforehand, Zach. I think, you know, we mentioned Townsy briefly, and that was probably about it. On paper, to me, the only player on IDM's roster that I think would be able to really give them a leg up is Arbiter.
Yeah, Arbiter definitely is a name that's recognizable for, like, you know, being a high-level sniper. It's just Mountain so far has found all the important kills, whereas Arbiter exploded on mid, exploded the next life, and I saw him get scattergun off bats all alone a third time, so...
Lost at least 1, maybe 2 SVSs as well to Mountain, who... Arbiter's a player that I think we've kind of clocked as being a little bit feast or famine, whereas Mountain to me is much more of a, you know, consistent force, and IDM's gonna need Arbiter in feast mode if they want to win this, and judging by the fact that the points are currently 10-1 in favor of Mountain, it looks like he's in famine mode.
Yeah, Arbiter is 1 point, by the way, for all of you who can't see the scoreboard, so really has not been able to get into the game at all yet. Could be for a number of reasons. Again, like I said, I've seen him explode like 3 times so far just immediately. There might have been an SVS loss like you're saying, but it really just... The fact that ever since mid, IDM has not really gotten to play the game. They've just been picked off by Sniper. Their medic has had basically 2 drops to Sniper at this point. Their pick classes have not been able to get anything going. Arbiter not been able to walk out. Tie Guy's gotten lit up across the point multiple times. So yeah, it's just hard to... From around 1, it's hard to like immediately make the corrections, which is likely why we're seeing the tack pause, is because they probably feel like nothing is working. So they're going to try and talk about it.
Exactly, yeah. Regroup, see what's going wrong, see, where people are getting picked off, where potential weaknesses might be. Maybe, hey, pull up the cast, see the third person view of what's going on,
Yeah, yeah.
Take-
Stream snipe your own game.
Take any advantages you can potentially get. I mean, you're looking at it, right? DT's got a
Do
bunch
we
of
have a
kills.
pause time limits get in the RGL rulebook, by the way? Attack pause time limit?
I'm not sure. Well, there it is.
I guess it's now. Yep. As we come out of the pause, Mountain gonna get a snipe onto Leaf. Leaf has died to Sniper twice already, but Arbiter actually gonna open things up. Headshot onto Mountain, so we are likely gonna see a bit of fight from IDM here, trying to get back in. Oh, Jay-Z doesn't get the stab, but does help get the kill. Dawet gonna walk forward from underneath the submarine heavy, just getting all those cleanup kills. Dank and Dawet gonna drop
though. Taiga finds Dank at 99. That's 299% deaths already. So, they're going to lose the fight thanks to Dotwet pulling a hat trick out of lower, but likely in a good spot to potentially win the refight here. With their spawns coming up first, no Uber to worry about. This should be a cap coming in.
Yeah, and Arbiter just won another SBS versus Mountain, actually, so Arbiter might be starting to come alive, like we were saying. Tons of damage.
Up from lower.
Gonna get those kills onto Alex and Ace, and now they get the cap IDM, but they're not gonna be able to defend it for very long. The spawners from Worried Sick are about to come flooding in.
Exactly, yeah, they're able to get the point and stall this a little bit longer, but Taiga's already dead. That's not going to be any comms. Townsy's on fire, with only a dispenser to heal him. Leaf now
just gonna get Arbiter here, yep. No sniper available for this desperate point defense as the offense, Worried Sick, gonna flood onto that point. Tons of kills coming in. Leaf, Swift, Squid all dropping in short order. Townsy's not gonna be able to do much as recapture comes in.
Jay-Z spawn camped Alex, I'm pretty sure. Either a spawn camp or got Alex right behind main, so rough round.
Yeah, I mean, at least they got one cap at the end of it, but other than that mid-fight, we really didn't see much to be excited about for the side of IDM. We'll see if they can replicate their mid-fight success here, because assuming they did, have like a good talk during that attack pause, if they can recreate the mid-fight and then maybe get something rolling on their initial defense that doesn't get sniped, you might see a bit more success here. Mid-fight gonna go in Arbiter, again, winning an SBS. That's 3 in a row for Arbiter. Dawet dead as well. Alex gets defended just in time by Leaf, and the kills do come flooding in once again for IDM. They're gonna get a couple kills on the point. They are gonna get Kira, big backstab by Taiga once again, and there we go, a second consecutive mid-fight. So they got the mids down.
Swift absolutely massive on this one again, went for the Eagle Heavy, dropped down, assassinated Dotwet, got about 90 damage onto Dank, forced everyone back, didn't stay alive this time, but taking an absolute kingly amount of space there.
You can't bleed like that, Scout. And DVC bleeding too. Yeah. That's not what you don't want to do whenever you're defending this point. So now they'll need some plays. Arbiter, like we said, coming alive. Big headshot into Kira. Gonna stall this offense here from Worried Sick here. No Demo Man means Squid has free reign on this point. Jay-Z with a revolver in the window being a bit annoying to Alex, but we'll be fine for now. Kill onto Dawet means that there's no heavy now, so always missing one combo class. Arbiter, another kill onto Jacob. Uber gets popped across the point for the side of IDM.
If Dank got a counter in return, better Uber for the offense right now. Durr flying around behind, picks up 2. Numbers are going to be in favor of Worried Sick here, and it looks like IDM knows it. They're going to back up. They take the kill onto Durr, but lose the point. A minute off the point already so far is looking good for them, but we saw how much they struggled when it came to repushing this point. Hopefully they're going to be able to perform a little bit better in the second round.
Yeah, they have Durr dead for 5 more seconds, plus the rollout time. There is a teleporter he'll be able to take, so gonna be close. Jay-Z dies to, what is it, just random sticky spam? Yeah, that's unfortunate for him, but he's gonna get taken down. And now no comms on these offensive rotations for IDM. Gonna be rotating onto the concrete side, looking to jump out here. Alex does have about a 15% Uber out. We'll see if they can do something with it, but there's Arbiter, once again, a 4K onto Kira, gonna take down that Demo Man, so they're gonna be able to walk forward.
Exactly, yeah, another snipe onto Kira this round. Gonna try to hopefully open up a lot of space. Dotwet's in a force position, but Taiga finds Dank, continually getting these huge
just free Uber, yeah. Use it. They did drop Townsy, but they're gonna keep everyone else alive and be able to walk forward and recapture this point. So no heals for the side of Worried Sick. They just gotta give it up.
Yep, Family Uber coming in. Absolutely huge pick by Taiga right there. Able to find Dank in the middle of that combo. And again, things looking better. I mean, I'm still a little concerned that it feels like all of these repushes have been keyed off by their pick classes. Finding big things as Arbiter wins an FPS again, pulling a Dom onto Mountain. Oh, how the tables have turned. Dotwet, though, coming up from lower. Gonna get called out, but finds lead.
Oh, look at Dotwet.
Gonna be neck.
tons of damage coming out of that red heavy, taking down Squid at the very end, and that's going to be enough presence for them to walk forward. In the meantime, Alex does make it out with his life, which is crucial for the side of IDM here. Point Cap going to get stalled a bit, so all the spawners can come up. You don't want to leave that slow heavy walking all the way back from spawn, so that is going to be 9 alive. Cap comes in. 2 minutes on the clock for Worried Sick, only 1:20 for IDM, so IDM firmly in the lead here. Even Ubers, and they're about to have, means that they're going to want to take a fast exchange. I'm looking at Arbiter here, has a great angle, takes down Dotwet.
Yeah, we said we needed RB in feast mode, and that's exactly what he's been doing thus far. He has the meats on Worried Sick. Gotta take out Mountain
5
again. And yep, Uber's coming out from both teams right there. But that sniper difference is going to be massive in post. But J-Eazy hunting RB down on the bats. Snipers have been equalized, and here comes Endure, going to force Alex back into the fight. No medic means that Worried Sick is looking likely to win this.
Is that a ball kill? Yeah, that's going to take down Squid in the end. And remember, Spawn's in favor of IDM right now, so they're going to get these players back to the fight faster. Dawet going to have to retreat back off the point, and point presence now being seated. Davey gets headshot out of the sky, though, and Taiga dead. There's going to be a numbers disadd, but evened up quickly by Arbiter getting 2. Dawet and Fluoris going down. Arbiter cannot miss right now. They're going to be able to go forward with the spawners, but watch out for Mountain here. Has a good angle, doesn't hit the shot, and now he just back up.
Exactly, and Squid finds Tank on the sticky spam. Huge just to blow up that medic like that. No pick class is needed. And in comes in J-Eazy trying to find something. Gonna take the revolver kill onto Squid and Ace while staying alive. But that gank kill, I think, is still gonna be the biggest one of the fight. Point gets Cap back up in favor. Townsy will put that in his pocket. 30 second ad or so. In comes in Jacob, though. Going to get a lot of damage out. Forces them back, but no kills. He's not able to follow up.
Jacob not used to getting the medic kills like it was on Swiftwater on that Pyro class, but it will be a lot of damage onto the combo of IDM here. Alex has to back up, get that sandwich, get healthy, and they will just see the point for now. They have a 50% Uber ad, so this is perfectly fine. They're going to get in a second, so they're walking up. Alex has to be a little bit careful here. There is a Mountain waiting in the wings in main, but they're going to pop the second they got it. They're going to try to run forward, get some kills. Davey trying to run them down along with Townsy. They get Jacob, but Jacob does such a good job denying. Dalwood as well getting cleaned up in the outset, but it will just be 2 players going for them on that Uber. Spy coming in, trades 1 for 1. That's a big kill into Arbiter.
It helps Mountain get the revenge there, so no sniper. Mountain now uncontested.
Look at Swift,
up
he's
on
doing a bunch
that.
of damage.
But there is Leaf coming in, gonna pick up Flu right there before going down, trading. They will get the point back. 10-second ad for IDM. That's going to tick away very shortly.
Yeah, but look at this. Dank has 100% Uber, so if this ticks too low, Word 6 has to right-click on their medic and flash everyone on point, and it's just not winnable for IDM. They're not going to get in time, I don't believe, only at 55%. They're going to have to start flooding out here against a full shiny team.
Yep, Taiga's trying to get in position, but really strong spy checking right now from Jacob.
Big
and J-Eazy going to be the one finding down, but Uber comes out. They're walking forward, trying to find what they can. Alex is safely back in spawn. But 10 seconds left is not enough for an Uber. They're gonna need an extended overtime here. And they're down 2 classes already. Ace trying to run it up through tunnel, not gonna make it. Dotwet standing tall, gonna be mowing him down. And 2-0 in the first half, but you know, that tack pause must have done something because IDM's looking a heck of a lot better this round.
I'll tell you what it did. At the end of last round, we had Mountain, I believe he was second highest on the scoreboard on the side of Worried Sick, and Arbiter was at the bottom. But things have very quickly flipped. Mountain is now bottoming the scoreboard on the side of Worried Sick, and Arbiter's at the top. So
Easter famine.
Yeah, you believe that it was the same sniper playing both halves of them popping off. You wouldn't. Their momentum flipped so heavily in that one. It was so evident in how much space IDM was able to have that they just didn't get last round.
Yeah, taking a look, in the first round, Mountain had 7 kills to Arbiter's 4, most of which were picked up towards the end. Second round, Arbiter had 10 to Mountain's 2. So really a tale of 2 snipers, as it were. But ultimately, I mean, I'm looking right now, I have the stats up. DT 17-3. And I think at least one of those deaths came right out on the first mid. So really, after that first mid, only 2 kills onto the scout. Dank only 3 deaths. I don't know if Dank had any in the first round, as opposed to 8 from Alex. So 8 deaths on Alex. Squid currently sitting on an ugly 4-13. Excuse me. You know, the weaknesses are evident in these logs.
DT pulling off like the most triple-esque scout game I've seen in a while. I don't think we said his name once in the fights. But 17 kills is just your scout being efficient, effective, taking beam, getting all the cleanup kills that you need, and just making so much space. So, DT, probably like the low-key MVP of that round, even though it's just not like the flashiest play. It's very reliable.
Yeah, no, you stay near your med, take beam, clean up on damage. That's exactly how Scout should be. You don't need to be going on, undercover missions behind to try to assassinate someone.
That's the heavies' job. I feel like both heavies were going back to the Soviet era with how much they were diving underneath.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to give credit to Swift. Both of those mids were primarily Swift's win. And then in the first round, if anything came out of that tag pause, I would argue it's to put more pressure on lower. In that first round, both Dur and Dotwet were just railing onto IDM from that lower. Second round, you see Swift playing down there a lot more, winning 1v1s against Dotwet a few times, maintaining that space, making sure they're not getting, a soldier just kind of teleporting into the middle of their combo uncalled, and you can see how much better, they play for it.
Now, we always call out the man himself, Exile, when he has a game like this, but if you are Squid, this is, unacceptable. You cannot be top-deathing your team on a Koth as Demo Man. It's so hard to win when you just don't have that pressure coming forward.
Only 2 snipes, too! So
yeah,
this is not Exile first peeking and getting his head blown off constantly, because, we've seen some Exile 5, 6 deaths to sniper, and,
That's one thing when you're playing against, fucking Andrew or whoever's the boar that's playing right now. Not that Mountain isn't comparatively that good. It's just there's a lot more. He's not getting sniped every peak. Squid is able to walk out. It's just constantly exploding.
Yeah, and I'm not sure when those deaths are happening exactly. If it's part of the reason with Exile why it feels so apparent and why we always bring him up as an example is in part because Exile has a bad habit of dying early in fights. I haven't specifically noticed Squid's deaths all being first man down in a 9v9, but ultimately, if you never have your demo after a fight, you're going to find it very, very difficult to, put together a sustained hold on the point.
Yeah, it's not like the damage output is super impressive either. You can't say your demo is dying for damage or dying for space. He only has 225 DPM, which it might be log harping.
Less than. If you're getting out damaged by your engineer on a Koth map, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. So I'd say IEM looked a lot better in that second round, obviously, and a big part of that was Arbiter doing the big shooty. But at the same time, if IDM want to get that one round win that they're coveting really hard right now, Squid needs to be the big step up.
Yeah, I think Swift. Honestly, I would say Swift had more of an impact than Dotwet did. Dotwet's kills in the first round to me were coming up from lower against a team that clearly wasn't prepared for it and farming them, whereas Swift is playing against a team that's significantly better than his own on paper and consistently, finding wins in fights. So
yeah, a lot of times I felt like Swift was more of the cause, whereas the Dotwet kills were more of the effect of what was happening.
Exactly, yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. And so you have Swift as a potential rock in the combo. It's really to me just Alex and Squid that kind of need to step up. And I get it, Cascade Med is not easy, right? But some of those sniper deaths are really, really bad. The first one right out the gate, arguably the worst, just, getting dropped right after the first
cuts your
mid.
momentum immediately to 0.
Yeah, that is you come into this, probably not expecting to win this, looking for rounds. You win the first mid and you're like, guys, we might be doing it, and then immediately the door gets slammed in your face, just when you think it's starting to open. And then you get held
for 2 minutes straight and it feels bad, then you take your tack pause, but
And credit to them on the tack pause, that clearly worked, and it's something that if, you're watching this, take note, because it's a really useful tool.
Yep, so we're going into the second half here. Worried Sick up 2-0. Another 2-0 would put them easily on that perfect game here on Cascade. We'll see if IDM has any responses in store. Still on the blue side for them. Worried Sick on red. We'll see Davey jumping immediately on the medic. Taking a lot of damage, but will just go down, as will Taiga, so not going well for IDM at all. They get shredded. Dirt, Mountain, Flu, all getting tons of kills here, and that is a full ace instantly. So much for IDM's mid-fight plan.
Yep, I don't want to make things too reductive and focus only on one player, but both of the previous mids we saw Swift getting aggressive, be that going for Eagle Heavy or just walking forward, did not make it off his own rock. No positive pressure, they just get ran over, and the forward hold coming in right now after such a dominant mid, this can be a nuisance to break.
Yeah, they're going to overload right side here, and they are going to catch, it looks like Dur. Will try to jump out for his life, but doesn't quite get a good bounce. Will go down, as will Dank. Davey finds at 99%. That was 100%. That was a drop on the HUD. Even though it says 99 on our caster tools, but the HUD said 100, so either way, he was very close. Great play there by the soldier to get that medic kill. So, you know, it's the opposite of the first round of the first half, where we saw IDM take the decisive mid and then lose their medic. Now Worried Sick gets it and loses their medic.
Exactly, yeah, they're going to come back in now, 50 seconds off the clock for Worried Sick. We'll have to see how they can play. I mean, there's really only been one other time I feel like they had a full ad, and Alex got popped immediately by Mountain. Ace going to go down, so numbers already in the DT so aggro on point. Squid!
Oh, Squid's dead.
That's an exile death right there, but Taiga with the salvage onto Dank.
Yeah, free Uber on the point coming through. Townsy trying to get some kills. They will pick up Jacob. In the meantime, Swift going to try and get out of dodge. Gets out from Dur's presence. Here comes a spy. Jay-Z will get picked up in the meantime. Does get Arbiter, though. That's a big shutdown onto the enemy sniper. So we'll see. Ooh, Townsy with a great kill to Dalwet and living. That one might buy them a recontest here earlier than they were hoping. Squid's back from the respawn chamber, so going to try and meet up with the rest of the combo as IDM, they want to press this numbers ad.
Yep, and that's a long spawn on Dalwet with no heavy. A lot of health not in these fights. Townsy, though, just gets juggled. Great rocket coming from Dur. Take him out. They're going to try to get aggressive right now. Dotwed, I think, is just still in the rollout, going to take that telly in, but Davy's already dead. 79, not great. Leaf, I don't know if that was a reflect jump or an accident.
Yeah, it was. He tried to get in there, but did not like it. And Mountain now on a 4K taking down Arbiter. So Mountain says, this round's my turn. Do the sniping. Here comes a spy in. Jay-Z looking for the medic. Alex going to see that one in time, though, and Jay-Z will not be able to get the kill. In the meantime, Squid again going to drop to DT. Likely just got picked off while the team was dealing with the spy, so that was going to delay them a bit longer. 100% Uber now for Worried Sick and Dank. DBC wants to find this force. We'll just go back for now.
Yep, going to be flying around the bats, going behind Blue, looking to chase. Yeah, but if he's calling that, they can walk forward. I'm not seeing too much of it. Davey, though, coming in, going to end up taking himself out. Forces the combo back a bit. Yeah, and Arby's going to find Kira there, but Mountain evens back out onto Townsy. Jacob
should be caught. He gets out with 1 HP, so Jacob can keep his life for now, and Dank's had this Uber for probably a minute by now. We remember what happened in the first round when they got to keep that Uber for 2 minutes straight. Tiger gets a pick onto Dalwet, though, and that defensive heavy being down means there is space to walk forward. Swift trying to take the Vanguard here, takes down the Mini, but Mountain again, another snipe.
Oh, the butter knife onto Dank, almost had a drop. Tiger's going to be wanting that one back as the exchange comes out. Dur's going to go down. Dalwet's still dead. Townsy finds Kira.
Townsy needs more kills here.
Better kills on the side of IDM, but presence in favor of Worried Sick. They're finding it difficult to stay in with so many players hurt.
This is the situation where Townsy needs to be able to get pressure and get kills here. Squid's doing a lot of damage onto this right side, forces the side of Worried Sick to back up off the ramp. It's just Dalwet with a forward hold here, and a big snipe onto that engineer means that when that Mini's dead, they will be able to just walk forward without any presence. Squid trying to unload more damage, but look at this. They're recontesting, they're walking forward. Worried Sick want to fight this one. They might regret that, though. They're going to lose Dalwet, but they do get the reflect kill onto Taiga. We'll see what they can do here. Bomb in from Dur doing damage. Squid's dead, Arbiter's dead, and that recontest is so close, but they're going to take it. Townsy here with his Pyro. Pyro going dead. It's just Townsy all alone on the point, taking down from behind, and that will be Worried Sick taking a very decisive third round.
Yeah, and it stings a little if you're IDM because there's the moments, right, where they're able to find these picks, they're able to fight with Worried Sick on even footing. It's just not consistent enough.
Yeah, there were so many different, like, individual problems there that, like, it's hard to pinpoint one exact reason why that round was lost. It really just felt like they fell apart compared to what we saw in the last round. So, it's their last chance here to get one on the board. We'll see if they can do it. The mid-fight last time went so badly, I'm sure this one can't get much worse. They at least get a kill this time. Soldier's going to be trading up in that tunnel.
Swift has to eat, though, so that's going to delay any of their forward aggression here. But they know he's up there. Swift now trying to stand out.
Right now.
They're all looking, gets hit really low. Arbiter and Tiger both go down.
Kira's dead,
no
though.
pick classes yet. Kira's the trade. Can Swift stay alive, putting out pressure, going to be forced
It's
back.
Townsy and Squid. There's no demo against them. They should be able to walk forward and get some damage. Dirt coming in onto the bat. It's going to be a nuisance in the back, but tons of damage onto this combo. Alex and Swift have to both back up. 1 HP, but Squid going to get sniped down. So will Swift. Combo is wiped. Alex all alone. 96% death. You can't really do much about that one at that point if you're Alex, but that's just going to be another decisive fight win for Worried Sick.
Simply get a saw and force, forehead. Just get a melee against potentially the best team in Invite, forehead.
Worried Sick played a really good slow mid that time, where they let the soldiers trade, they knew the heavy was about to peek upper, it's fine, just respond to all the pressure in kind, and then when it's time to go, that's when you send the soldier in, that's when Jacob walks forward, so Worried Sick just showing their tenure there with that one.
Exactly, yeah. Arbiter going for some peeks up through
Big
Davey, but Davey's gonna find Mountain. That said, kills are in favor now of Worried Sick. It's gonna be on Arbiter to try to find something with this free reign here. Taiga gonna be next, not able to pick anything up. Blue chasing all the way into the back. Picks up a mini, always good to find, but we're looking for heads right now.
Arbiter's pinning them behind the scene and cheating, so Squid should be able to get the Uber Force, and they will. It's gonna go out. Squid could jump away to stay alive. Heavy not gonna be able to do the same, so they will lose that one. But killing to Jays in the backline means we are at even numbers. Spawn advantage for IDM here, and they have Uber in just a second, so this will be their chance, but big death there. Squid gonna get picked off by Mountain Sniper. Surely they don't want to go with a Pyro Scout Uber. They're gonna try their luck anyway, but there's no way this gets anything.
Yeah, it's gonna get them space, maybe a cap if they're lucky. Maybe not even that. Davey coming in, getting them all to turn around, get some good damage, and not gonna be able to pick up a kill though. Swift getting spammed out in tunnel. They're wise to his tricks. And the cap 80% of the way through, but that last 20% is the important part. Squid picks up dirt, but the rest of Worried Sick is standing strong.
Yeah, cap will come up here for IDM in just a second if they can get anyone on that point. They still haven't gotten their first cap, and they finally will. Townsy getting on across the finish line, but Mountain with a big SBS win will be able to open up some space and escapes Taiga's clutches too. So Mountain going to be able to get right back into the fight here in just a second. There's not much that IDM can do. They need to walk forward and get some damage. Pyro's trying, but will go down for his trouble. Leaf not able to hold it. Here comes a left side walk. Big damage comes in. Townsy, Squid, Swift all drop immediately, and that's a great clap from the side of Worried Sick.
Yep, exactly. Just looks pretty textbook on their end. Alex getting out may be the silver lining here. You're going to have maneuvers pretty quickly, but there's just about a minute left until you're going to see a 4-0 in the books for Worried Sick. No forward hold right now, so they're going to get all this space up for free. Ubers are even. It's going to be on the execution. Squid jumping in.
Yep, more flashes on the side of Worried Sick, so the Uber's going to be decent for IDM here. They just need to be able to get space on the side. They have like 3 players playing the high ground. Going to try and force Dirt out of it. Big SBS win onto Mountain, and yeah, Dirt does get picked off for that window, so big advantage here for IDM. Going to be able to storm the point and get the capture in all likelihood. Shot onto Dawit, going to help that one. Keep all your players alive if you are the side of IDM right now. You cannot be bleeding on this cap. Yeah, Taiga, big stab onto Dank, gonna make it so that this is a free Uber advantage coming in. Swift drops down out of the window. This should be clean. They need to protect their medic.
And for reference, not you said shout out to Dawit. Dawit was behind Arbiter coming up from lower. Just 180 quick scope him to make sure he did not get taken down by the flanking heavy. Cap's gonna come back in, but there is a 2-minute disad, and yeah, Swift going down is gonna be big. If they can maybe play a little bit forward, Davey C gonna find Mountain,
yeah, it's
which
a trade.
should buy them some time, but those longer spawns are gonna sting.
It's Uber now up for the side of IDM, so if they do pop here, they need to kill Dank. It has to be that medic trade, otherwise you really lose hope here. You need to hold this one for 2 minutes straight, so we'll see what they can do. Bomb in from Dirt, trying to get them to walk forward. They want to get this Uber pop for Worried Sick, and I like how they're playing to do it. DBC gets stabbed out of spawn, I believe, so he's not going to be able to do much. And yeah, Uber forced out, but Worried Sick is out of there. This is exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, and Taiga getting chased off on the other side of the map, not having your spy in position there. Unfortunate. Kill starting to come in. They will pick up a kill on J-Easy, but Spy not exactly the biggest combat class. Dur surviving on with 9 HP. Gonna get an arrow live up. Squid will find Dotwet, but
they got the cap.
A little too late.
They got the cap, so time is ticking. 10 seconds on the clock. It has to be IDM getting some kills here. They do find Mountain. That's a big one. We'll see what else they can do. But Uber now up for the side of Worried Sick. They're getting the cleanup. Alex, Leaf, Townsy all dead. These shiny players on point will not be denied, and that should be a clean 4-0 once this lag stops.
I think the game's over and the server's shutting down. So, yep, Dolphins confirming they ended the server just a few seconds early, so we will not unfortunately be able to see the final 5 seconds of this match, but
anyone can tell you how it goes, so
this problem left as an exercise for the reader is what we'll say. And that'll be it. That'll be a 4-0 over IDM for Worried Sick.
Yeah, the easiest pred of the season on the cast for me, personally. Like, yeah, after seeing how well Worried Sick played last week, there was not like any doubt in my mind they'd win this one. The 4-0 is just, the expected icing on the cake, so I really feel like IDM, they had a couple nice things we saw there. Like, their mid-fights in the first half were really good, so it shows that they can do things like that. Arbiter as well had a super great pop-off round. That really showed what he can do. But at the end of the day, it really was just an outclassing across the board.
Yeah, and I mean, frankly, I hate to harp on one player over and over again unless that player's name is Exile, but Squid looked outmatched.
Yeah.
This to me, there's a lot of players on this team, maybe excluding Arbiter and Townsy. Leaf 2, I guess. The other 6 of them, I think this is, this may be the strongest roster they've ever faced in a match. And I think Swift, I think Taiga did good jobs. Even Davey too. Actually, Davey played Plat way back in UGC, right? Yeah.
Wait, is that the Davey C?
That's Davey C from Dead Ringer Storage and Murder Force 9000, yes.
That's crazy.
So, Davey has played this competition, but not in the past decade.
That's such a weird thing to say.
He's Mr. Davey Alphabet's been sitting in main long enough that I think some of that rust has kicked in. But a couple of these players definitely stepped up. I think a couple of them, though, probably are running into that high wall of talent, at the top of Invite, and it's something you got to adapt to.
Yeah, and if anything, right, this is the hardest match of the season for IDM. And while you would have loved to get around on the board, showing that you weren't completely helpless against them actually might build some confidence coming into matches against more playoff opposition. You probably feel like you can do things against the likes of Dream Bull's Kitchen, right? So we'll see if they can get things on the board. But losing 0-4 here means that no match points have been gained, and their position in the playoffs is tenuous right now. So we'll see if they can pick it up. Like I said, I did see some promising aspects of their game here on Cascade, so who knows? Maybe they'll end up coming in and securing that bubble. I'm not sure if we'll cast them again before the season ends.
I guess, yeah. I think that, the thing with the playoffs is interesting, right? Because a little bit tenuous, but realistically, who's going to jump them? Because they already 2-0'd China National, which would mean that you'd need to have a very big choke elsewhere, or a really big upset that China National has to pull off. And I mean, I guess
a lot of it depends on what BBC
really
does.
we're gonna have to look and see when BBC plays China National, right? Unless if they already played.
I don't believe they have. I think BBC played IDM and then top 2.
So then it may turn into if BBC beats China National, they should slot in over IDM.
Yep, that's all calculations for the future, though. In the meantime, this was a quick one, and I don't got much else. Worried Sick did what we expected them to do, so very clear first seed going forward. And I doubt we'll see them for the rest of the season until those playoffs hit at this point.
I'd be surprised if we see them pick Cascade. That, to me, looked like a map that they had a lot of weaknesses on, and they were able to win by just having better players. I think the forward hold we saw from them the one time was decent, but I don't think that was the best. I think Worried Sick comparatively played better last week than they did this week.
Probably, yeah. Especially just considering the level of opponent, on paper, but that's neither here nor there.
Exactly.
Combined logs on your screen. Squid is 9-21. Didn't top death, that was the soldier, but third over underneath the spy as well.
Yeah, just rough game.
Yeah, nothing too outstanding here.
Yeah, I mean, Taiga, Davey not having the best KDs, but those are also the classes you're expecting to be up there on the death chart.
They had decent impact when it came time for them to do something. Davey's deaths are high, but it's not like he was
7 deaths, 4 of them to Taiga. I mean, if you're in a situation like IDM found themselves, if your spy is able to kind of coin flip a 9v9.
Kill the med once around, you'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I mean, 0.5 KD is not phenomenal, but given the circumstances, not a whole lot to work with. So, you know, the pick classes were there. I felt like Swift was there. I mean, not to keep harping, but I think Swift and Alex, I really think, got a little exploited this game. And that's about it. At the risk of repeating ourselves any further, Zag, I think we'll wrap it up here. Any final shout-outs?
No. Shout out to Dolphin behind the camera, as always. You know, working hard to get these matches across the board. And I'm just looking forward to see how this season starts to conclude. You know, there's a few questions up in the air that I do want to see answered, and I'm really looking forward to potential playoff matches, especially eager to see that rematch between Worried Sick and Exile in the future. So hopefully the road till then is a good one, as we will come back next Monday for some more Highlander action.
Yep, I'll drop some plugs for the RGL LAN merch, as well as the RGL LAN in Philly, which is just over a month away. You'll be able to see my lovely self at the RGL LAN. Confirmed going. We have the Disrupt Cup coming up this weekend in order to help fundraise that. And I believe, Dolphin, right, that's where viewers can donate to cause some havoc in the games between some of the top players. So if you've got a bone to pick with anyone, you know, maybe from some pugs or whatnot, then easily your chance to take revenge on them right there. So definitely tune into that, you know, contribute if you've got the funds and want to help support the LAN. But otherwise, I think that's going to do it from us next week. Going to be Vigil. Going to be actually a lot of very important matches next week. So not quite sure what we'll be casting, but whatever it is, it'll be a good one. So make sure to tune in.
Yep, and that's going to about do it for us here tonight. So with that said, we'll see you back next Monday for some more Highlander action. I've been Zagron, joined by Alto behind the camera, or Alto by my side, and Dolphin behind the camera as always. Thank you all, and we'll see you next week.